Hello everyone, welcome to my online classes. I'm Javed Nihal and today we are going to take up the topic letter writing. Now we are going to discuss this topic of letter writing in the format of class 12 higher secondary syllabus under the West Bengal Council for Higher Secondary Education. In the syllabus we have a 10-mark section called ESP, that is English for Specific Purpose. And in this section you get three different options and you have to choose only one of them for the purpose of examination. Now they are a letter, a report and a précis. Now since we are going to discuss the letter, so first I'm going to show you the letters that have come in the last 5 years in this final examination. Now these are the letters which have come right from 2016 to 2020 and we will discuss about them a little more. First, we will move to the definition of a letter. A letter is a form of written communication from one individual or organization to another. It is usually sent to the recipient via mail or post. Now, letters have been broadly classified under the categories of informal and formal heads. Letters written and sent to our kith and kin, such as parents, brothers, sisters, friends, and acquaintances, are examples of informal letters. The tone and tenor of an informal letter is always very, very warm and friendly. Formal letters, on the other hand, are not so warm and friendly. In formal writing, we usually avoid personal details and discussion. We rather deal with the matter of facts. A formal letter shows the elements of respect, politeness, and most importantly, it always carries a degree of aloofness. Now you will find that formal letters are further subdivided into the category of official letters, business letters, letters to the press, academic letters, or letters to a bank. Now you will notice that in the year 2016, the letter that we got is an example of a business letter. Now in 2017, you were asked to write a complaining letter to the postmaster because your important letter was delayed. So it's an example of official letter. In the year 2018, the students were asked to write the letter to the editor of a newspaper, which is an example of letter to the press. In the year 2018, the letter that we had, it was an academic letter, and very recently in the year 2020, the letter that we had was a bank letter. So you see that in your higher secondary examinations, you are getting a variety of letters. Now we will move to the next part. We will discuss the elements of letters. A letter is an example of long division writing, and every long division writing in English language has its own style and form and flavor, and so does a letter. In fact, a letter has very beautiful layout, and the elements of the letters that appear in the layout of the letters are as follows. It has return address and date, the letterhead, inside address, subject line, salutation, the body of the letter, complimentary closing line, subscription, signature of the sender, name or the designation of the sender, enclosure, outside address or superscription. Now these are the four most important elements that normally appear in almost all type of letters. Now you will notice that some elements appear only in formal letters and not the informal letters. And we will discuss each of them one by one so that the whole idea becomes very, very clear. And the first, we will start with the return address. The return address is the full postal address of the sender of the letter. It is always written on the top right hand corner of the page. For example, something like this. Now, another important element is date. Date is very, very important. In fact, it always gives identity to the letter. In world over, three different formats of dates are used. The first one is the British date system, the American date system, and the last one is the ANSI date system. In British date system, we start with day followed by month and then year. In American date system, we have first month, then day, and then the year. Now, in case of an ANSI date system, it always starts with the year, followed by month, and then the day. Now, suppose if a person mention a date in his letter as 03 oblique 06 oblique 12. Now, this will be sometime very, very confusing because a Britisher would read it as 3rd June 2012. On the contrary, an American would read it as 6th March 2012, and in ANSI format, it should be read as 12th June 2003. So now you see it's very, very confusing. So what is the solution? We should rather be avoiding date in purely numeric form, but we should rather use both the alphabet and the number characters in our letter. So if you write something 3rd June 2012, it will remove all the doubts. Now, another important thing to note about the date, that the date of the letter should be the day on which it is posted or submitted to the authority. It should not be like that you have written your letter a very long back and then at that time you gave the date, and after a month or after weeks you are posting that letter with that backdated. That means backdate is not allowed. Now, normally, if you are writing a date and return address together, then it can appear on the top right hand side of the letter, something like this. Sometimes we also use a shorter form of return address. In that case, we use landmark place, which is very, very important place, and also the date. And in that cases, it can be written on the bottom left hand side, something like this. Now, in case of official letters, normally we use return address in a printed form, that is called letterhead. But suppose there is a no printed letterhead available, in that case the return address can be written on the top left hand corner of the page, something like this. Suppose a letter is being written from the manager, so it should come as a from the manager and the name of the company in which he is holding the post, like XYZ Publishing Company, which has the address 2 PC Road, Kolkata 9. Now next is inside address. Inside address contains the name and the designation of the recipient, and also in short the address of the recipient. Now one thing you should bear in your mind, that in case of formal letters, you should always address your letter to the official head of the department or the person who has the administrative power. Now, in case of you writing a letter to the Education Support Council, you should always be addressing your letter to the secretary. I mean, there are many more people here who occupy important positions out here, but it is the secretary who has all the administrative power. So you should always be writing and addressing your letter to the secretary of the organization. Now next is a subject line or the reference. The subject line is very, very important in case of business and official letter. Now, in case of a business and official letter, an immediate reference of the previous communication, it always helps the receiver to identify your correspondence. Now the reference can also be written as a standalone element in your letter, or it may also be mentioned in the body of the letter. Okay. Now, if you talk about the subject matter, then the subject matter should be like a title without any finite verb. For example, if you are writing a letter, something, you are giving a subject, prayer for leave of absence. Here you will find that there is no finite verb. Same is grant of a casual leave and reporting of illegal construction. It should always come as a phrase, as a title, and without any finite verb. Next, we are coming to salutation or greeting. Now, if you are writing your letter to your relative or very intimate friends, then you can address them with their first name, like my dear son, my dear Raman, dear Soman. But suppose the person to whom you are writing is less familiar, you should rather be using surnames like dear Mr. Das, dear Mr. Kapoor. In case of a person who is very, very stranger to you or very superior to you, Okay, you should not be addressing him by name, but you should rather be using sir or madam, or if very close, you can use dear sir or dear madam. Now, one thing to note down, that it should always, the salutation is always followed by a comma. Next, we are coming to the body of a letter. Now, you should always try to write the body of the letter in a couple of paragraphs. Okay, in 2 or 3 paragraphs is always advisable. In British style formats, you can align them. Okay, it can come in indented form with each paragraph of the body, being indented to its right. Now, I'm going to give you some examples of opening paragraph. Okay, so this in most academic or official letters we use this opening paragraph. Okay, you can choose any one of them initially, but then of course as you will move forward, you will learn more about them. You can style in your own fashion. Now next we are talking about the complementary closing line. Your letter should not close abruptly. Okay, sometimes we try to give a small phrase like looking forward for an early response or awaiting a favorable reply, something like this. Okay, if nothing, then with thanks or thanking is always very common. So, and again, complementary closing line is followed by a comma. Next, we have subscription or leave taking. Now, these are the example of subscription or leave taking. The most common is yours sincerely and yours faithfully. And again, one thing to remember, that a lot of mistakes happen in case of subscription or leave taking. So whenever you're writing a subscription, always make it sure that the first letter is always capital and that it has no apostrophe. Like yours, we will make a mistake, your apostrophe s. No, this is the wrong format. So it should be writing complete yours sincerely. Okay, yours faithfully. And in case your affectionate son, when adjective coming between the noun, you can use your affectionate son or your loving daughter. And it is always followed by a comma. Signature is very important. If you do not sign your letter, then it will have no authority. The letter should be signed preferably in blue ink. And why blue ink? Because sometimes we have to get our letter copied, and when you do have it Xerox, then it becomes difficult to differentiate between the original and the duplicate one. So we normally use a blue ink to sign a letter. Sometimes we have a very artistic, very unique design of signature. So in case your name is not very legible, you should also mention your name in full. The name and the designation of the sender is also used, especially in case of formal letters. After signing, the sender of the letter should also mention his post that he is occupying. Now, enclosure is something that you add. You give an annexure which comes as a separate document and which is not written in the letter. Suppose you are giving a separate document along with the letter, then you can also mention them in your letter so that there is no argument about it. So it can be written in two forms. The example one is you write enclosure, short form ENCL, and then you give like this. Now, if it is original, you should mention it. If it is a photocopy, you can also it, so that there is no debate about it. The second example is something like this: enclosure as stated. What do I mean by as stated? As stated means something you have already mentioned in detail in the body of the letter about the enclosure that you are adding along with your letter. So you don't have to repeat it once again. You can say it as stated. As stated where? Stated in the body of the letter. The next one is outside address or superscription. Now again, very important. If you do not give a proper outside address or subscription, your letter would never reach its destination. So whenever you are writing the outside address, you have to be very careful. And outside address is written on the envelope of the letter, and it includes the name or the designation of the recipient, care of sometime if necessary, the premises number, street number, city, pin code, even state or country. All this should appear in your outside address. So it could be something like this. So finally, we are coming to the layout of our letter. Now, when you put all these elements, where should they appear in the letter? So something like this. You should always start your letter with the letterhead or return address. Return address, if you have an informal letter, it should come on the right top side. But if you have a printed letterhead, then it's there in the middle, or you can make it on the left top corner. Then we have inside address, and then followed by subject line or reference line. Then we have salutation in the form of sir or madam. And then we write the letter, and the body of the letter, as I told you, should not be one single paragraph, but come in multiple paragraphs. I prefer 3 paragraphs while writing a letter. After you have finished your letter, you should end it with the complimentary closing lines, and then you should mention the subscription and your signature, very important, and name and designation of the person, and also the enclosure that you are adding with the letter. You can also mention the place and date. So here we come to the end of this session. Thank you for watching my show. If you have any suggestion or queries in this regard, you can write directly to me. My email address is javednihal@ymail.com. You can also visit my website address. The link has been given in the description box. For all the updates, please subscribe my YouTube channel.